On the news tonight, Anambra State government to begin implementation of anti-open grazing law, September. Governor Soludo urges youth to focus on productivity to achieve aspirations. National Agency for Drug and Food Administration and Control alerts public on certain United States products. Gunmen kill at least 10 people in Somali capital, Mogadishu. Before the news in detail, here is a special message. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let us give him maximum support for the task ahead. Good evening and welcome to the news. My name is Maureen Stone Enujoki. Anambra State Governor Professor Chukwuma Soludo says his administration will begin implementation of the state's anti-open grazing law next month. Government House correspondent Ejika Bana reports that Governor Soludo stated this during a meeting with members of Anambra State's Cattle Menace Control Committee held at the Government House, Oka. His report is taken from here.
According to the governor, though the law has been in existence since almost 1 year, cattle rearers keep parading certain areas in the state in contravention of the law. While applauding members of the committee for their dedication to duty, the governor said that Anambra promotes social harmony with everyone, including cattle rearers, but he made it clear that they must, as other business owners in the state, operate within the existing laws.
Now that we are planting these trees and we plan to be planting 1 million next year too, these palm and coconuts, again, we are targeting to plant another 1 million seedlings next year, in addition to the hundreds of thousands that we are planting now. It becomes almost an emergency now, because people have raised these concerns that in some parts of the state, the cattle are still marauding the farms and bushes and so on, not confined to particular places. And the purpose of this meeting, therefore, is for us to brainstorm together. Let's brainstorm and have a common understanding as to how we must A, continue the social harmony that has existed over these years, ensure that those who rear cattle are free, like any other business, are free to rear their cattle, but also rear their cattle within the ambit of the law.
He explained that because his administration has launched initiatives to encourage tree planting, there is not enough land to accommodate open grazing. The governor pointed out that the initiative was geared towards salvaging the Anambra environment from erosion, which is fast depleting the scarce land, urging them to consider gradual implementation of ranching as a modern way of cattle rearing because of its numerous advantages and money-making potentials.
Anambra is unique. We need all the grasses, we need all the trees and all the shrubs. We need to plant 1 million more every year. But we cannot run the risk of planting them and having them being eaten up by marauding cattle. And therefore it becomes almost an emergency. That's why I have called you. And I want us to brainstorm on this. The anti-open grazing. And I see quite a whole lot of settlements of cattle now, where people, put them in a kind of a ranch. I see quite a large number of them. We now have to find a system to make it a permanent structure that live and let live. Our security agencies here.
Governor Chukwuma Soludo says Nigerians have the option of choosing between to Anambra sons in the forthcoming presidential election in 2023. Government House correspondent Ejika Bana reports that Governor Soludo stated this after the Labour Party presidential candidate, Mr. Peter Obi, met with him behind closed doors at the Governor's Lodge, Amobia. His report is taken from here.
The All Progressive Grand Alliance (APGA) has a presidential candidate who should be supported, and explained that as the governor of the state, he also receives candidates from Anambra who are running for elective positions and wish them well. He said during their meeting they felicitated and had some frank conversations, describing him as a friend and a brother. Also speaking, Mr. Peter Obi expressed optimism that Governor Soludo will succeed in Anambra, having demonstrated competence in other endeavors of his life.
Governor Chukwuma Soludo has charged the youth to shun entitlement culture and focus on productivity to achieve their potential. Governor Soludo made the call during the 3rd anniversary of Youth Earnestly Seeks Solution with the theme Inclusive Youth Volunteerism and Development, unveiling of policy documents and empowerment training program held in Oka. Correspondent Chukwemeka Modelim reports.
You are benefactors.
Governor Soludo, while describing YES as solution to many problems of the youth, commended them for being part of disruptive change which his administration engendered. The governor restated the determination of his administration to build a prosperous, peaceful and livable Anambra state by arresting any form of criminality and building a state with opportunities for all. He said his administration prioritizes youth development as it invests heavily in them and has increased their 2022 revised budget from 500 million naira to 2.5 billion naira.
The support of YES and all the other support groups. Sometimes when I reflect on this, it makes me emotional, because there is something disruptive that is happening, or that happened. Something fundamentally different from what it used to be. That a group of people will come together, self-paying organizations. It's new and different. And I dare to say, if I remember, YES happened to be the very first of such support groups that was formed, and formed on my death.
On his part, the keynote speaker and former Minister of Aviation, Chief Osita Chidoka, advised the youth to take advantage of the opportunities that are abound before them to become employers of labor rather than job seekers, to guarantee sustainable development of Anambra State and Nigeria at large. Chief Chidoka also urged them to embrace hard work, fear of God, determination, ensure ill-gotten wealth, and intimidation of people in order to achieve their dreams.
Seize opportunities. The first thing I want to say today is that there is a new Nigeria that I call Niger that have emerged. The young people of Nigeria have taken over the space. In technology, over $1 billion came to Africa for private equity investment. 700 million found its way to Nigeria. Those white men that invested in Nigeria did not invest in the Nigerian state. They invested in Niger.
In their separate speeches, the Commissioner for Youth Development, Mr. Patrick Ayamba, and the Commissioner for Special Duties, Barrister Salai Ezokenwa, who commended Governor Soludo for proving that leadership of youth must start today by appointing many of them into his administration, enjoined the youth to use the opportunity the governor has placed at their disposal to achieve greater heights and make impact in the society. Earlier, the chairman on the occasion, Mr. Alex Ejesieme, who applauded Governor Soludo for setting the pace in youth empowerment and called on others to emulate him. In his remarks, the convener of Youth Earnestly Seek Solutions, Dr. Nelson Omenora, who is also the special advisor to the governor on youth empowerment, explained that the aim of the group is to join Governor Soludo to solve the problems of the state and empower youth to contribute to nation building, adding that youth advocacy document, Partners in Nation Building, which the youth unveiled at the occasion, is a book of process building.
Years have been demonstrated that politics indeed can be a wholesome endeavor, a patriotic vocation, where one is called for sacrifice, self-interest, in order to advance common goal. Therefore, in years, we are changing the narrative and mainstreaming the politics of stakeholding, where everyone assumes personal responsibility as partner in nation building, as against selfishness through strategic government and governance process.
The occasion climaxed with the unveiling of the book, Partners in Nation Building. In Oka, it's been Chukwuemeka Modilim, ABS News.
As Anambra women wrap up this year's August meeting, Mrs. Noya Soludo, wife of the governor of Anambra State, has stated that with the nature of issues discussed at different venues of this year's convergence, women have shown the courage to lead the initiative to reform homes and the society. Mrs. Soludo stated this in Oka while assessing the annual women's meeting in Anambra State. We have the details.
Prior to this year's August meeting, the governor's wife had met with different women groups from social, cultural, religious, and political circles, where she urged them to use the 2022 August meeting to discuss and seek solutions to the growing moral deficits in homes and society. Mrs. Soludo had explained that she was disturbed by the rising parental complacency in the face of eroding societal values and ethics, and asked mothers to rise and take back their homes. Speaking about her observation of this year's August meeting in Anambra State, Mrs. Soludo said she was proud that Anambra women took her message home, explaining that the process of rebuilding homes requires such inputs. The governor's wife, however, reminded them that it does not end at the points of their discussions, urging them to take the necessary actions and implement the communique of the meetings in their respective homes and societies. Mrs. Soludo, who expressed confidence that mothers are beginning to understand the emerging risks of societal neglect, reassured that her husband, Governor Chukwuma Soludo's plans to fix Anambra State are genuine and passionate.
Managing Director of Anambra Broadcasting Service, Sachido Obidiegwu, has called on well-meaning in Anambra both at home and in the diaspora to support the station for improved services to the public. Sachido made the call when he led a team of the ABS on a courtesy visit to Nibo-born philanthropist and a two-time President General of Nibo Community, Oka South Local Government Area, Dr. Innocent Akuvwe, and his wife, Engineer Betty, in the residence at Nibo. Correspondent Emmanuel Okonkwo reports.
My team,
the ABSMD explained that the target of Professor Chukwuma Soludo is to enthrone a media organization that is responsibly, professionally, and profitably managed, pointing out that the feat will not be achieved without the help of good-spirited individuals in the state. Sachido commended Dr. Akuvwe on his numerous contributions to the progress and development of Nibo community, calling on him to support ABS in some of the pressing needs, including lack of functional vehicles, generators, among others.
The entire management and staff of ABS consider you one of those that we ought to come to. We are simply here to intimate you with the fact that I have this responsibility now, and there's a charge the governor gave to me to give a media organization that is run responsibly, professionally, and profitably.
Dr. Akuvwe, who is currently the President General, National Shippers Association of Nigeria, and Chairman, Nigerian Society of Chemical Engineers, Rivers and Bayelsa, congratulated Sachido on his recent appointment as the MD of the ABS, describing the appointment as well-deserved. So according to him, the ABS new boss has wealth of experience and skill in media and communication. Dr. Akuvwe, while rating ABS high in reach, information management and dissemination, assured to support the station to see that the vision of the Anambra State Governor, Professor Soludo, is actualized in ABS.
I'm very impressed with what you're doing now, and your predecessor did well.
at least got ABS online in various social platforms effectively. We watch it in Bohakot. You understand? So just like you said, taking it to the next level is a task that must be done. And I know you have the wherewithal to do that. Your friends must show that they are truly your friends, because a friend in need is a friend indeed. So I think I'm happy to be associated with ABS. Say that we will do the much we can to support you where we can, and also to see how we can partner with you on the kind of business we do. You understand? Because I'm not in a it might be a way of also bringing our business this way.
In a vote of thanks, as staff of the ABS, Mr. Emeka Keke commended Dr. Akuvue and his wife, Engineer Betty, on their philanthropy, as well as warm reception accorded them during the visit, and prayed God to bless and keep them.
Not thank you enough, but what I will always say is that your water can never run dry in Jesus' name. Amen. Yes, you've been so nice, and the man with large hearts, we cannot thank you enough still. Nice that we are going to do long life and prosperity. Amen. From
Nibo in Oka South Council area, I am Emmanuel Okonkwo, reporting for ABS News.
The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has issued an alert on certain United States products. The notice followed the recall of some confectionaries produced by a company, Mass Wrigley Confectionery US LLC. Director General Professor Mojishola Adeyeye, who signed the notification, said Mass Wrigley had announced a voluntary recall of varieties of Skittles gummies, Starburst gummies, and Lifesavers gummies. Adeyeye said the decision was due to the potential presence of thin metal strands embedded in a number of the sweets. NAFDAC urged distributors and citizens in possession of the products to stop the sale and consumption of the products and take them to its nearest office, adding that members of the public can make their reports through the NAFDAC ADR e-reporting platform, available at www.nafdac.gov.ng. LM Tech Hub, a social enterprise with a learning environment, has been launched in Oka, the Anambra State capital, courtesy of Chinweze family of Amiko Village, Oka. The center, according to the founder, Mr. Dilibe Chinweze, is in memory of his late sister, Barrister Mrs. Maureen Odi Okeke, known as Lady Moore, and will provide free 6 months intensive tech training for passionate and exceptional young people in Anambra and beyond who are eager to exploit the digital world and realize the dream of becoming talented software developers. Correspondent Joseph Ebocha reports.
Speaking at the official launch of the center, the founder, Mr. Chinweze, explained that advert was done on social media, after which 20 people with competence were eventually selected, adding that aside world-class learning facility, environment and free daily lunch, students who meet performance standard at the center will be rewarded accordingly. In her remark, the director of the center, Mrs. Ngozi Osi Abata, expressed hope that sacrifices made in establishing the center will help in touching lives in more positive ways, adding that LM Tech Hub has a pool of computers, alternative sources of power supply for uninterrupted training exercise, as well as leisure room for comfort with internship and sourcing engagement packages awaiting graduates of the center.
So far, it has been awesome. We got the best of students, and as I speak, even in my dreams, I look forward to coming here to be with them. They are more like my children, and from everything I have seen, I am automatically a mother to them. Once everyone, Anambra State government, the world, to know that an Anambra indigene family has decided to give back and he's not making any profit out of it. He just wants to touch life.
In their separate comments, the Managing Director of ABS, Sachido Obidiegu, Managing Director of Anambra ICT Agency, Mr. Fred Abata, represented by a staff of the agency, Mr. Tochukwu Ebeku, Special Advisor to Governor Soludo on Youth Empowerment, Dr. Nelson Omenora, expressed joy that young people are taking ICT seriously in the state and commended the private sector for helping to realize the Soludo objective of making Anambra smart, livable and prosperous.
It's important for me to put in perspective that what you're doing here is in tandem with what the government of Anambra State is doing. It's an initiative also that Mr. Governor Professor Chukwuma Charles Soludo has also, started in Anambra State, where there are projects to empower the youth, at least to get basic knowledge of IT. Because IT is the nerve center of whatever you do today in the world, the new world information and communication order. So there is this, there is a synergy between what the governor of Anambra State is doing for Anambra, for the youth of Anambra, and what the Libe, is doing. So I want to urge you to take this, very seriously.
Among other instructors, Mr. Vincent Ilebu promised to give his best to ensure realization of set objectives of the center, while some students, including Mr. Desmond Johnson Egiono, a graduate of Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka, Miss Edith Obi, a graduate of Chukwuemeka Odumegwu University, Bariam, and Mr. Joel Anichie, a university admission seeker, expressed joy with the training programs being offered, noting that they will help scale up their skills in ICT. Reverend Father Anthony Dog from St. Francis of Assisi Catholic Church, Awka, dedicated the center to God at the event attended by the Anambra State Commissioner for Transport, Barrister Mrs. Pat Igwebike, Head of Political Science Department of Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka, Professor Jaja Nwanebu, Permanent Secretary, Anambra State Ministry of Environment, Dr. Emmanuel Udabe, Director of Special Services, Office of the Secretary to the State Government, Mr. Nwabufo Nwankwo, Public Relations and Media Practitioner, Mr. Mike Meze, among others. In Awka, Joseph Ebocha reporting for ABS News.
At least 10 people were reported dead after gunmen stormed the hotel in the Somali capital, Mogadishu, following 2-car bomb blasts and gunfire, officials and local media have said. Gunmen stormed the Hyatt Hotel, which is known to be frequented by government officials, on Friday evening in a hail of gunfire and bomb blasts. The Al-Shabaab armed group claimed responsibility for the attack, the first since the election of Somalia's new president Hassan Sheikh Mohamud in May. The attack comes as government forces have stepped up operations against Al-Shabaab and as Somalia's President Mohamud had promised to eliminate the armed group. Mohammed said the Al-Shabaab leadership has also promised to topple Mohammed's government. He added, security officials Mohammed Abdi Qadir told the AFP news agency that dozens of civilians, including children who were trapped in the building, had been rescued. There was no immediate information on the identities of the victims. The federal government will host members of Team Nigeria's contingent to the 2022 Commonwealth Games in Birmingham on September 15, the Ministry of Sports has disclosed. A statement by the ministry's Director of Press and Public Relations, Manga Mohammed, said Sports Minister Sunday Dare said that the presidential reception is a recognition of the historic performance of the team, which is the best ever since 1950, when Nigeria first participated at the Games, which led to President Muhammadu Buhari's approval that a special reception is held in their honor. Dare added that the event is also part of the country's way of appreciating the team's great acts of sacrifice, patriotism and determination demonstrated at the Games, which has brought Nigeria into positive global focus. Nigeria won 35 medals at the Games, including 12 gold, 9 silver and 14 bronze, to end the competition as Africa's best team. According to the minister, the present administration is committed to the development of sports and will continue to create an enabling environment for sports to thrive, not just as a recreation, but also as a business and means of investment. Remember, you can follow news and programs on ABS from any part of the world by liking our Facebook page at ABS Radio Television, subscribe to our YouTube page at ABS Television Awka, Follow us on Instagram at ABS Radio TV. Log on to our website www.absradiotv.com. And now a recap of the main points. Anambra State government is to begin implementation of anti-open grazing law September. Governor Soludo has urged youth to focus on productivity to achieve aspirations. National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control has alerted the public on certain United States products. Gunmen has killed at least 10 people in Somali capital Mogadishu. And here is a special message. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let us give him maximum support for the task ahead. And that's it on the news for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Maureen Stone Enujoke Kachifo.